Forgiveness. It is one of the hardest things to give, but also one of the most liberating. We have all, at one time or another, been hurt by a word, an action, a look. Whether it is a betrayal by a friend, an injustice in our family, or hurtful words from a person we trusted. These wounds can be deep, almost impossible to erase. They create a weight, a burden. And faced with this burden, a question often comes up. How can I forgive this? The pain is sometimes so strong that we tell ourselves that it is unthinkable to let go of this suffering. The heart is in pieces, and every time we think of this person who hurt us, a rage is rekindled. I will never be able to forgive, we say to ourselves. But take a second to think, what if you too needed forgiveness? Because we have all made mistakes. Yes, all of us. At some point, we have hurt someone, whether it be through our words, our actions, or our silences. And when that moment comes, what do we want? What we all want is to be forgiven. Humility is recognizing that one day we may have done harm without meaning to. Maybe we acted out of selfishness, maybe out of clumsiness. Maybe at some point we let our anger or frustration direct our actions. And in those moments, what we seek is the forgiveness of the other. But first, we must understand something fundamental. Forgiveness is not a favor that we do for the other. It is a grace that we give to ourselves. Forgiving is not saying that the other was right. It's not excusing what can't be excused. It's simply deciding that the pain we carry doesn't have to rule our lives. Forgiving is choosing not to remain a prisoner of the past. It's freeing ourselves from resentment and moving forward, without the chains of anger. It's important to understand that forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, but it does mean accepting that what's done is done. It means looking that pain in the eye and choosing not to let it define your future. You want inner peace? Then forgive. You want to move forward, find a path to happiness? Then forgive. You want to live without being haunted by regrets or resentments? Then forgive. You want life to offer you new opportunities? Then forgive. Forgiving is accepting that we are all human, with our strengths and weaknesses. To forgive is to choose to live without the burden of the past, without every negative thought darkening our present. To forgive is to understand that if you want to be forgiven one day, you must first forgive. Because life has this strange way of giving back to us what we give. If you choose hatred, it will come back to you. But if you choose forgiveness, it will come back to you in a form that you cannot even imagine. Forgiveness is an act of strength. It requires courage, humility, and a willingness to grow. It is not easy, that is true. It is not immediate, no. But each small gesture towards forgiveness is a step towards freedom. The freedom to be yourself, without the burdens of the past, without the chains of bitterness. Forgiveness is the strength of great souls. They are the ones who have understood that their peace is not linked to what the other has done, but to what they choose to feel. And they choose peace. They choose love. They choose light. Be one of those who, despite the pain, choose freedom over hatred. Be one of those who, in the face of injustice, decide not to let themselves be consumed by anger. Forgive. Not only because the other deserves it, but because you deserve to live free. Because at the end of the road, life will forgive you in return. Perhaps in a way that you will not immediately understand. But forgiveness always has a way of coming back to you. And when it does, you will realize that it was not the other that you had to forgive. It was to yourself that you had to grant this forgiveness. Forgive, and peace will invade you. Forgive, and you will see. Life will reward you much more than you imagine.